Hi there, watercolor kids. Welcome to Paint and Play, where we're going to let our creativity run wild and have fun with watercolor. These videos are just for you, or you can watch with an adult. We're going to have a lot of fun exploring the magical world of watercolors and learn to create some amazing paintings together. Are you ready to have some fun? Say watercolor if you're excited. Let me hear you. Yay! Well, I'm your art teacher and my name is Audrey. I'm so excited to be your guide on your watercolor journey. But before we dive into the world of watercolors, let me tell you a little bit about what we'll be doing in this Paint and Play series. In each episode, we'll explore a painting technique and create something together. We'll start with the basics, like how to hold a brush, how to use our paints, and as we get more comfortable and confident, we'll also learn how to paint lots of different subjects, like animals, sunsets, food, etc. Don't worry, we'll take it slow and easy. We'll have lots of breaks to stretch our hands and get our creative juices flowing. And if you get confused at any point, just pause the video. You can rewind it, or you can ask an adult to help you ask a question in the comments. So let's get our brushes and our imagination going. Remember, there are no mistakes in art, only happy accidents. I'm so excited to see what you'll create. Are you ready? Let's do this. Now, before we start any activity, I want to help you be in the right mindset. What I mean by that is that I want all of us to be on the same page, understand the same rules as we paint together. I do this activity even with adults because we have to be in the right mindset too. Here is the first mindset. Will you repeat after me? We are all creative. Yes, we are all creative. I believe that we were all created by an amazing creator and that you have the same creativity in you. But your creation and my creation may look a little bit different, and that's okay. Maybe I want to paint a purple elephant, but you want to paint a yellow elephant. That's totally cool. Maybe I want to add flowers to my painting and you don't. That's okay too. In Paint and Play, you can follow along with me and paint, but you also have the freedom to do something completely on your own. And this is the second mindset. We will be kind to ourselves and to others. Will you say that with me? We will be kind to ourselves and to others. Sometimes when we create, we don't like what we've created. I've been there. And that's going to happen to you and to me. And it might make us sad, and it's okay to feel that way. One thing to remember when you feel sad or don't like what you created is to not make ourselves feel bad. Even if you don't like what you've created, it does not mean that you're a bad artist or that you don't have any creativity. Think of it instead as an opportunity to learn something. So that's one way we can be kind to ourselves. We also need to be kind to others. If you see someone else painting and they make a mistake, don't make them feel bad about it either. Instead, be kind. Say something positive. Hey, I like that color you chose. Or, how did you paint such thin lines? Hey, can you teach me? Or, you're really good at making circles. We are all creative and we can all be kind to ourselves and to each other. Finally, to get into the right mindset, we're going to do a breathing exercise each time before we paint. This will help us calm down and focus on what we're doing right now. So let me explain first and then we'll do it together. We're going to breathe in through our noses for 4 seconds and out through our mouths for 6 seconds. So get into a comfortable sitting position. I like to have my palms facing up, either on my lap or on my table, and I like to close my eyes as I'm breathing. So go ahead and do that, and let's first breathe with me counting the first few times, and then I'll turn on some music and you can breathe on your own for a minute or so. Let's begin. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Well, let me turn on some music and you can breathe on your own for a minute or so. Let's begin. I hope you feel like you are in the right mindset now because you are creative, we're going to be kind, and we're calmed down. Let's start with our very first activity in the first episode of Paint and Play. Since today is the very first activity, we're going to get familiar with our tools. Let's see your paintbrushes. Ooh! I have a couple different brushes in my hand here. I like to use a medium and a small round brush. If you have something that looks similar to this, that's great. Some of you might have a flat brush. That's great. You can use these too. Next, let me see your paints. Hold them up. Maybe you have lots of colors like I do, or maybe you just have a couple. That's okay too. Let's put our paints aside. Now let's see your watercolor paper. Hold your paper up. Make sure that your paper is watercolor paper. If you're not sure, ask your adult. Okay? Somewhere on the paper pad, it should say like 140 pound, or it should say watercolor paper, something like that. The paper should feel really thick and heavy. If you don't have supplies right now, that's okay. Make sure to ask your adult to check out my links in the description box so that you can get your own watercolor paints. A pencil and an eraser, at least 1 jar or 2 jars or plastic cups of water, and some paper towel. Got all of your supplies? Pause here if you need to grab them. I'll wait. For our first activity on this episode of Paint and Play, we're going to create a swatch chart. Can you say that? Swatch chart. It looks like this, where you show what every single color in your paint palette, what that looks like. See how it kind of looks the same? You can do rectangular shapes like this, or you can do circles like this. You can also do long ovals like this. You can do whatever shape you want it to be. For today's episode, I'm going to use the Praying watercolors. If you have something different, that's okay. So grab your paint and all of your supplies and let's make a swatch chart together. All right, kids, so let's go ahead and swatch our colors. Now, the important thing when we're swatching our colors is that we need to make sure that we go in the same order that our paints are in, okay? So if you do this red color here, don't jump over to an orange over here because it'll get confusing. So make sure to always paint in order. I know your paint palette may look different from mine, and that's okay. Just make sure to go one by one by one, okay? So choose a medium-sized brush, not too small, not too big. This yellow one is pretty small compared to this purple one. And this red one is a little bit too big, okay? So this purple one is just about in the middle. Now again, your brush might look different from mine, and that's okay. Just make sure it's not too tiny, okay? I have my jar close to me. I have my paper towel here, and I'm going to use a black marker. You can use a pencil or whatever you have, and I'm going to write the name of this watercolor palette up here at the top. I want to make sure that I know what the name is so that when I look at the colors, I know what to compare it to. Another important tip is that when you switch colors, make sure to wash your brush 100%, okay? And we'll practice that together. Let's pick out our first color. First, wet your brush. So go ahead and put it in the water cup. Make sure it's nice and wet. Soak up all that water, okay? And then wipe your brush just once along the rim of the jar, like this. Try that again. So go ahead and wash and then wipe. Now your brush is really wet with water. It's good. It's drank all of this water and it's feeling good. So now we're going to use this water on our brush to wake up our paints. Can you say, wake up? Great. So let's take our wet brush and wake up our paints. And as you're waking it up, you can even say, wake up. Here we go. Wake up, paint. Wake up. So go ahead and pick up that color. You can turn your brush around like this. And then we're going to paint a small circle. I'm going to do small ovals because it's the same shape as my paint palette. Wow, look at how dark that color is. Maybe you have a different color and it's a really bright color. That's great. Now the magic of watercolors is that if you change how much paint you have on your brush and you add more water, you're going to get a lighter color. That's amazing. So we're going to practice that. Let's wash out our brush just a little bit. Ready? Wash, stop. And now blot for just a little bit on your paper towel. Ready? Blot, stop. And now let's paint another oval. And look at that, it's just a little bit lighter. Let's keep going with our next color. And before we do, we have to wash out our first color. So take your brush and vigorously shake it in the water. But do it carefully so you don't splash yourself. Here we go. Wash it out. Wash, wash, wash. And stop in 3, 2, 1. Pull it out. And now let's blot to make sure that we don't have any paint on our brush. So take your brush and then blot. If you see some color like I do here, then you need to wash a little bit more. So let's wash again. Three, 2, 1. Let's pull it out. And now let's see. Okay, that's a much cleaner brush. So now I'm going to wet my brush again, wipe, and wake up my next paint color. Tell it to wake up, wake up, wake up. And then turn your brush around a little bit, right, to get a lot of color. And now let's do another oval. Wow, that's a great color. I'm going to wash out my brush just a little bit again. Wash, wash, stop. Blot, blot. And then paint another oval. And it should be a lighter color. Isn't that pretty cool to see? So I like doing a dark version of the color and a light version of the color so that I know what it looks like. Sometimes when you see dried paint in the palette like this, it's hard to tell what color it is. Sometimes it's really dark and we don't know what color it is. Or sometimes as it's drying, it becomes a lighter color. So a swatch chart is really helpful so that you know exactly what color you're going to get. So keep doing this same process for all of your colors in your palette. I'm going to turn on some fun music and let you paint on your own. And at the end, I want to see all of your beautiful colors in your paint palette. Have fun! Thanks so much for painting a swatch chart with me. I can't wait to see yours. Remember to push like, subscribe to my channel so that you know when the next episode of Paint and Play comes available. Ask an adult to help write a comment. You can ask me any questions. You can share something that you learned. I can't wait to hear from you. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.